This test is relevant for most solid tumor survivors like breast, prostate, colon, and lung cancer. Most people assume an hemoglobin A1C test is strictly about tracking diabetes, but a major study shows this simple blood marker plays a surprisingly powerful role in long-term survival after cancer. And the good news is that it's one of the easiest numbers for you to actually take control of. In this video, we're looking at the exact optimal range to target according to the study, why your oncologist might not mention it, and 3 simple steps to lower your risk starting tomorrow. So once treatment is over, why does this blood sugar test matter so much? Think of your body like the soil in a garden. We want this garden to grow flowers, trees, and even food. What we don't want is weeds taking over it. Even after treatments like surgery, chemo, or radiation do their job, the soil in the garden may still be hospitable to the weeds. When blood sugar levels stay chronically elevated, even slightly, like a high A1C would indicate, it causes your body to produce higher levels of insulin and inflammatory signaling molecules. In simple terms, chronic inflammation elevates growth signals that act like a fertilizer for microscopic or dormant cancer cells. That's why A1C is so important. It isn't just a daily snapshot of fasting blood glucose. It gives us a clear 3 months average of your blood glucose highs and lows. And it represents your metabolic terrain you're creating inside your body. The encouraging part is that you're not stuck with your current numbers because metabolism is dynamic and lowering that number is one of the most effective ways to protect your health. Now, before we look at the exact numbers from the latest research, we need to cover first who this test applies to and, importantly, who should not rely on it. Because A1C measures glucose bound to red blood cells. Anything that affects red blood cell number or lifespan can make the test unreliable. You shouldn't rely on standard A1C if you have severe anemia from chemotherapy treatments or blood loss after surgery, or even if you recently received a blood transfusion. If you have kidney disease or you are recovering from blood-related cancers or therapies that heavily suppress bone marrow. In this situation, A1C can give a false high or false low. But don't worry, if this applies to you, your doctor can easily measure alternative markers like fructosamine or use a continuous glucose monitor instead. Now, assuming your red blood cells are healthy and you can rely on the A1C results, let's first look at the normal A1C range. 6.5% or higher is the threshold for a diabetes diagnosis, and above 5.7% is pre-diabetes. Anything below 5.7% is considered normal. Now let's look at the graph. This graph tracks cancer survivors over 20 years. The higher the line is, the higher the odds of long-term survival. The subjects were divided into 4 groups according to their A1C levels. The highest risk zone was the purple line, representing an A1C level of above 5.9%. This group had the highest blood sugar levels and their survival curve dropped the fastest. For the blue line, blood sugar levels were lower, ranging from 5.6 to 5.9%. The green line represents the range of 5.3 to 5.6%. Even a tiny decrease in blood sugar levels is associated with higher survival rates. The highest survival rates over the 20-year period were seen in those with an A1C level of 5.3 or below. According to this study, this is the optimal zone where the line sits at the very top. Now remember, the normal range is anything below 5.7%. This means that the A1C test, along with a list of other tests, does not necessarily represent the optimal range for cancer survivors. Now, if this is so important, why isn't it part of standard oncology follow-up care? The answer is that it's just simply how specialized medicine works. Your oncologist's primary job is acute defense, managing treatments and medications, ordering scans, and monitoring direct tumor markers. Long-term metabolic health and blood sugar, on the other hand, traditionally fall under primary care. It doesn't mean it's not important, it just means you get to be the proactive manager of your own metabolic health. Knowing your number is one thing, but turning the data into action without constant second-guessing can feel overwhelming. As a biopharma scientist and registered dietitian, this is exactly why I created the Cancer-Free Lifestyle Protocol. I've already helped hundreds of cancer survivors reclaim control over their bodies. Our school space contains structured step-by-step video courses that break down every aspect of metabolic prevention, paired with weekly live implementation calls where we walk through these concepts together. If you want some extra support and peace of mind around the things you can do to support your health, check out the link in the description below. Regardless of where you start, even if an A1C test isn't accurate for your body at the moment, doing these next 3 things lowers your risk just as much. Here are 3 simple, high-impact habits you can start tomorrow without dieting or completely turning your life upside down. And before we jump in, please remember everything I share here is for education purposes only, not nutritional advice. All right, with this out of the way, let's start with the first action. Eat in reverse. You don't have to give up your favorite foods overnight. Instead, simply change the order in which you eat them. Aim to eat your vegetables and proteins first, and save starchy carbs or sweets for last. Why? The fiber and protein create a natural mesh in your digestive tract. This dramatically slows down how fast sugar hits your bloodstream. Step 2. The 10-minute sponge walk. Take a 10-minute walk after your largest meal. A light, easy walk right after eating activates the large muscles in your legs, like your quads and calves. These muscles act like sponges, pulling excess glucose directly out of your bloodstream. If you can't walk outside, even pacing around your kitchen or doing light tidying up for 10 minutes makes a measurable difference. Step 3. Manage the stress-glucose connection. When you're dealing with anxiety or high stress, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol signals your liver to dump stored glucose into your bloodstream, even if you haven't eaten a single gram of sugar. Prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of sleep and taking just 5 minutes a day for deep breathing or meditation is a direct way to lower your fasting glucose numbers. Before you go, I'd like to hear from you which of these 3 habits you're going to start tomorrow. Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you want to know which popular anti-cancer juice might be doing more harm than good, click this video right here.